Welcome to the Diary of a Self-Taught Mua. Let me take you through this look today that I'm so excited to do, because guess what? We're doing cut crease, and it's been a long time since I've done a cut crease on a client, because people right now, they're like on this natural vibe going on. So please subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, like the video, and share it with your friends that want to learn on how to do makeup. Anyways, as you can see, I was prepping the skin. I think I went with 2 moisturizers. I'm gonna leave the products in the description box should you want to see some of the products that I was using, and I also already gone with the primer. And now we are going through with the eyebrows. Guys, by now, especially if I'm gonna do a cut crease, I'm gonna start with the eyes, and I'm using the Davis pencil in the shade, I think it's brown. I know there's 2 shades, but they are more similar to each other. I went in to lay the brows down with the brown tamer, and then I set the eyebrows using powder so that it just has that natural feel going on. Now I'm going under to highlight the eyebrows, and I'm using the Sheila Beauty concealer in the shade 011, and at the top part of the brows I always go in with the foundation that is a shade. And now we are working on the base of my eyeshadow, and I'm using the concealer called Cindy's Beauty, and it's such a great base because it does not crease, and I set it with powder as well to make sure that it is staying in one place. I wanted to go in for this green shade because of the outfit she came wearing. Actually, this was not the plan, but because of the top that she was wearing, I decided on a green, and I wanted a deep green, but I wasn't getting the green that I was looking for. That's why I touched at the top using black to get this color that we are having now, so that it emulates this dark green kind of look, because your crease is sharper if the darker the shade. So now I went in to blend the transition, now the opposite direction. By now you are transitioning from a lighter shade to a darker shade, or from a darker shade to a lighter shade, regardless of which direction you use to start with, and your focus area will be on the crease of the eye. That's where you want to have your dark shade. Now I'm cutting the crease, and I'm still using the Cindy's Beauty concealer to cut the crease. Guys, I'm so excited because I love cut crease. I love cut crease. And now I'm just blending the edges of the concealer so that there's also a smooth transitioning from the inner part of the eye to the outer part of the eye as well. And I started going in with this, like, it's not really black, but it almost like a grayish black, which I think it was transitioning well. Then I went in with the boggle green, and then I went in with like a neon green, almost looks like a yellow. I'm not very good with colors, but as long as it transitioned well, I think it was coming out so well. Then on the inner part of the eye, I wanted to highlight with the white so that it opens up the eye. And just to end it off, to finish off this look, I just went in with glitter, and this is glitter. Actually, it's nail glitter, and it literally goes so well with this eye look that I was going for. And now I'm going on with the wing. I always like to put the sellotape, especially if I'm going to do a cut crease, because there's so much fallout, and I always want to like a cleaner wing so that it doesn't give me so much work, so that when I have to line it up. And then I went forth to actually put the eyelashes, and I feel like, I was contemplating on the sides here for a while. Anyways, let's go to the foundation, where I'm thinking, this foundation, I should not have used it. But you know what? I'm a pro makeup artist, so I had to make a plan around it. I think genuinely I just don't like liquid foundation, especially from this brand. I'm not going to mention the brand. At least it doesn't seem like I'm coming for them, because I've seen other people use it and it normally comes well, because it doesn't have like a really flawless finish for me. I managed to work around with it, and I blended it with the Krylene on top actually, but it did end up having such a an okay finish, but it wouldn't be my first preference, but it kind of like eventually worked out. And so I blended out the foundation, the whole entire face, and then I put the blush just right on top of the cheekbones. And now I'm going in with the highlighter, and I'm using the Sheila Beauty concealer. I think I was using shade 012 here, and now I'm using a damp beauty blender. I love this blender. It's from David Cosmetics. I think the most softest blenders that are, you can ever find. It makes the blending process very easily. I know my lighting wasn't so great here because I don't even think the video is doing justice on how this was looking like, how flawless it was looking like. But yeah, you get the gist. So I blended it out. Now I'm contouring the nose. I'm using foundation, Kryolan foundation in the shade D16. As you know, for me, the nose must disappear. Where are the nose? We have to look for the nose. But because I was going for almost like a full glam kind of look, I really wanted to highlight the eye and the eyes again. So I went with the Huda Beauty foundation in the shade. I'll leave it in the description box because I don't remember what shade was it, but it was very light. But don't put a lot. And I always recommend that if you're a beginner, skip that part because, yeah, your blending must be, top notch. And then I went in and I allowed it to sit a little bit so that it's a little bit sticky, so that it doesn't move. It stays in the place that I want it to stay. And now I'm just still kind of like contouring or setting with powder actually the nose. And now I'm going in to highlight under the eye to bake. And I'm using the Blossom powder, the translucent powder, just to highlight under the eyes. And I'm going in now with the View Beauty blush, just to pick up that color, because sometimes the more you work, it's almost like it's disappearing. Just to make sure that my wing is sharp, I went in with the powder right at the corner part of the eye. So because she had oily skin and she was going for a party, and this was literally like in like mid mornings to late to early afternoon, I think it was around 11, 12 about. So we really wanted this look to last the whole entire night. So that's why I allowed the powder to sit in and set for a long time while I was doing the lips. And I was going back just to do the under eye. I'm using the Tehila gel liner. Love this. Ever since I started using it, I've never looked back. I used to use the pencil, but I feel like the gel works better and it's waterproof. And with someone going out, I want the liner that stays long so that it doesn't drag down as the night goes by. So that's why I also didn't do so much under eye. And the lips, I'm going in with the Hagai and Estelle nude lippy, I think in the shade Adele, and the dark one or the brown one was the AD lippy in the shade khaki. And now I'm just dusting off the powder, and also just to blend it up so well, I'm just using a smaller brush so that I don't move excess as well. I just love the lips anyway. These lips are giving 10 over 10 minus that nothing. And I'm just going back a little bit with the blush because I love blush and she loves blush as well. She likes glam anyway, so I just felt like the combos were working in so well. Now I'm going in with the highlighter and I'm using the pigment from Younger Beauty, thinking the shade Bronze. I love it. Literally this video is not doing justice. I know I'm gonna get better lighting so that you guys can see probably how it was working out, and just highlight the nose just a little bit because the nose was well contoured and highlighted, didn't need much. So just focusing on the bridge of the nose and also on the tip of the nose. And shout out to Jane, our hairstylist in the studio, just to straighten up the hair. The client just already came in with the sew in, but you know what, we have to make sure that when the client leaves in perfection. So we're just straightening up the hair here so that the look comes back together. At this point, Mogel, I think she hadn't seen herself, but she was already hyping herself up. Guys, just look at that eye. I think it just came out so well. Anyways, I just wanted to ask, I know right now everyone is doing your natural look. I had a client coming to me that, she went to this event and everyone was looking the same. I was like, I know, because that's what's trending now. Would you still do cut crease right now, or you're still in your brown and natural era Kelly? Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to comment and like this video, share it with your friends, try out this look and tag me and let me know if this was helpful for you. Anyway, see you on my next video. If you have any questions, feel free to leave those questions down below in the description box. Love ya.